Episode 1. La Culebra. This season kicks off with a flashback to 15 years ago when Mickey took his first defense case, and after winning, a detective, Bishop, told Mickey to be careful because deaths will be on his hands for letting criminals back onto the street. Jump back to present day, and Mickey is meeting with Julian Lacrosse, who is being accused of killing Mickey's old friend, Glory Days. But Julian maintains that he is innocent. Julian says they did have a fight the night of her death, but she was fine when he left. Mickey doesn't know if he wants to accept the case or not because there might be a conflict of interest, but tells Julian he will see what he can do. Mickey then gets a call that Legal Siegel had a heart attack, so Mickey goes to visit him in the hospital. Mickey talks with Siegel about this most recent case, and Siegel tells Mickey to look in the direction of Hector Moya, a local crime boss. Glory incriminated him in the last season when she snitched on him to the police. Then Mickey receives another call from his daughter Haley, who wants him to represent her friend Eddie Rojas, who is accused of carjacking. Through some legal loophole, Mickey is able to get him off scot-free. Mickey then hires Eddie as his new driver because Izzy is pursuing her dream of choreographing dance TV. Cisco tells Mickey there was a fire at Gloria's apartment the night of her death, and he also says she was strangled. Mickey talks with Julian about this, and Julian says Glory Days told him to call Mickey if anything happened to her, so she was expecting someone to come after her. Mickey decides to take the case and learns that the detective Bishop from 15 years ago is the lead DA investigator on the Glory Days murder. When Mickey gets home, he is met with his house trashed and a snake on his bed, which is Hector Moya's signature. Episode 2. Special Circumstances. Mickey asks Cisco to investigate Gloria's clients through her escort business and asks Lorna to find more about Hector Moya's record and location. After winning a case the following day, Mickey runs into Andrea Freeman, and the two hit it off, and there might be some romance blossoming in the air. Later that day, Julian's arraignment comes, and he thinks he is getting lucky because the prosecutor assigned to his case, Bill Forsyth, is a rookie, and Julian believes Mickey will run laps around him in court. Things turn badly for him when Forsyth provides evidence that Gloria's death was not by strangulation and was actually by smoke inhalation using an incendiary device from the fire that started, and this means that bail will not be made available, and Mickey is completely shocked by this revelation. Forsyth may not be your average rookie. The next court hearing won't be for a month, so Julian must stay in jail. Julian's partner, David, is heartbroken to hear this, but tells Mickey he wants to help in the investigation in any way he can. David points Mickey in the direction of Gloria's co-worker Stacy. She tells Mickey Gloria had been worrying for over a year that someone was following her. Lorna gets back to Mickey, and she tells him Hector Moya was given a life sentence in prison, so he didn't kill Gloria. Cisco shows the other's security footage that shows a man wearing a hat following Gloria at a hotel the night she was murdered. The episode closes with Mickey meeting Andrea for drinks at a bar. Episode 3. Strange Bedfellows. The story jumps 6 months later, and Mickey and Andrea are together, and Lorna is taking her bar exam to become a true lawyer. But with her gone, Mickey doesn't have help, and Julian's court case is ramping up. In a pretrial hearing, Mickey shows everyone how Julian was intimidated during his police interview, but Judge Turner says it is not enough to throw the video out of evidence. Outside the courthouse, Mickey is subpoenaed for a Hector Moya and Arthur Rollins case, and he also finds the names of James DeMarco, a DEA agent, and Kendall Roberts alongside his. Mickey is so confused what is going on, and he goes looking around for answers. He learns that a man named Sylvester Finaro Jr. is the lawyer behind the subpoena, and it has something to do with Gloria's interview to the police about Hector Moya. Hector Moya is trying to fight his conviction. Elsewhere, Cisco starts looking around for this mysterious man, and he finds the car the man was driving. It's at a scrapyard and been completely stripped, but does find the VIN number. Cisco then tells Mickey that this Kendall Roberts used to be roommates with Gloria, so Mickey goes to talk with her. Kendall tells Mickey she warned Gloria to stay away from Moya and his crew. She has no idea about the DEA agent, though. She does relay the name Trina, who might have more answers, but her name isn't on the subpoena list, so Mickey assumes she's working with the prosecution. Mickey sends Cisco to go talk to her, and Cisco pays her off and learns the truth. The DEA agent, DeMarco, agreed to keep her out of jail if she worked with him. DeMarco pressured Gloria to rat out Marco because DeMarco planted a gun on him and wanted him behind bars for good. She then gets a call from Finaro Sr., who is in prison for tax evasion, and he threatens Mickey when he answers it. The episode ends with Lorna finding out who the man in the footage is via the VIN number. Episode 4. Rearview Blindspots. Lorna tells the others that the man in the hat was actually Detective Neil Bishop, and the vehicle he was driving that night was stolen. Mickey knows there is something big going on here because there's just too many coincidences happening. Mickey wants Cisco to find out the connection between Bishop and Moya. Mickey confronts him at the courthouse, and Bishop warns Mickey to stop nosing around in his business. Cisco discovers a possible cartel case that Bishop investigated 10 years ago and wonders if they are related. Mickey goes to visit Siegel in his care facility and tells Siegel he has no hand to play here and thinks he's going to lose his case. Legal reminds him to see the bigger picture and not let others cloud his judgment. Mickey looks at the subpoena with fresh eyes, and he realizes the subpoena is fake, and this was all a ploy to get people to speak and get information from them. Mickey's theory is that Finaro Sr. ordered his son to file Moya's petition on July 29th and also really did subpoena Gloria to come testify, but then she ended up dead because someone didn't want her to take the stand for Moya's case. Mickey doesn't think it was Hector Moya at all now because he wanted Gloria to testify that the DEA agent was trying to blackmail her to take him down. Mickey is sure that Julian is innocent now as well. Mickey goes to confront Finaro Jr. about the fake subpoena, and he admits he just did what his dad told him to do. He then sets a meet for Mickey and Finaro Sr. to talk. When Mickey gets to his car, he is confronted by DeMarco. Episode 5. What happens in Victorville? DeMarco tells Mickey to drop Julian's case and just let it play out, but Mickey isn't about to be bullied. DeMarco wants Hector Moya to be in prison for the rest of his life, but Mickey wants to let the justice system do what it is supposed to do. In spite of this, Mickey decides he wants to take Hector Moya's appeal case, and he wants to out DeMarco as Gloria's true murderer. Mickey can kill two birds with one stone if he pulls this off. The others in the office aren't sure that DeMarco is their killer, but Mickey says he wants the truth. Mickey asks Cisco to find any connection between Bishop and DeMarco in the past. The first place Cisco goes is Las Vegas to find out who sold the gun to DeMarco to plant. In Vegas, Cisco gets information when he interrogates the dealer's wife. In LA, Mickey goes to the prison and speaks with Finaro Sr. about everything. Finaro Sr. tells Mickey that he's only in prison because someone planted a gun on him because they knew he was going to help get Moya free, and also how Moya was one of Gloria's clients, and that's how they were close. Mickey then decides to visit Moya in prison to hear his story, who denies ever going after Mickey, and Mickey tells him he will do his best to get him out and get the true culprit behind bars. Later on, Lorna and Izzy discover a case where both Bishop and DeMarco crossed paths 10 years ago as they consulted with each other on a double murder in the valley. Back to Mickey and Eddie, who leave the prison, but are in a horrible crash, and Eddie dies. Episode 6. Man on Fire. Haley is heartbroken after the death of Eddie, and she blames her father for being connected to bad people. Mickey is on one, and he is adamant in finding whoever did this to him. When Mickey gets home, he is shocked to see a man named Omar at his house with a bulletproof car, and apparently, Moya sent him to protect Mickey now that he is his lawyer. They head to the office and get ready for the first day of trial that will be starting soon. The trial begins, and Forsyth calls Miller to the stand, who testifies that Julian has a crazy temper and has lashed out at people before. When Mickey is able to cross-examine, he pokes doubts in Miller's testimony and says he was just mad because Julian never wanted to date him. Mickey thinks Miller was paid off by the DA for a more favorable sentence for his prostitution charge. The jury does seem to be convinced by Mickey's claims. After court that day, Lorna receives her exam results, and she passed the bar and is a lawyer now. Mickey hires her as a true attorney and gives her a raise for her impeccable work. Mickey has a plan to try and bring a man named Peter Sturgos into the limelight and set a trap by using him as bait to play right in their hands. The following day, Mickey submits his amended witness list that includes 33 names, one of them being Detective Bishop. When Bishop catches wind of this, he confronts Mickey in the bathroom and asks him why he is messing with the good guys and siding with the enemy. He also denies any involvement in any of this. In court, Mickey talks with the jury once again and explains how he will prove there is a big conspiracy happening that is trying to frame Julian for a crime he didn't commit. When Mickey gets home that night, he is met by Homeland Security, who are arresting Omar for being an illegal immigrant. Episode 7. Relevance. Mickey is upset to learn that Haley has blocked him from all her social media accounts, and she is not dealing with Eddie's death very well. Mickey gives Lorna her first true case to defend an old client, Sam Scales, who was once again arrested for fraud, and Lorna becomes stressed over her first case. But she does manage to win and gets Sam off with probation. She learned from the best. Back to Julian's trial, and Mickey reveals that Gloria was killed shortly after being subpoenaed for Hector Moya's case, and that he's sure that two are related to one another. Someone didn't want Gloria to testify, and that is the basis for his whole defense. It seems to be going well, but then Finaro Jr. is called to the stand. Jr. denies everything he and Mickey talked about and won't even mention DeMarco's name, so Mickey believes he's been tampered with. When Mickey calls Trina to the stand, she also claims to not know who DeMarco is, and this causes Judge Turner to say DeMarco isn't needed to testify after all. Mickey is rattled, and he demands to his team that they need to find a way to get DeMarco to testify. Andrea and Mickey get in a fight when he accuses her whole office of being corrupt just to win their cases. Mickey then receives a call from Cisco, who tells him their plan worked with using Sturgos' house to lure Bishop and DeMarco in. Mickey wanted to get proof of them getting together so he can prove they have been working together in court. He even gets them on camera planting drugs, so Sturgos will be arrested. Mickey talks to Legal about all of this, but Legal warns Mickey to be careful going too far against law enforcement. Episode 8. Mystery Man. Mickey knows they have to find a way to make the footage relevant so they can bring it up in court, especially if both Bishop and DeMarco are already there. Mickey asks Cisco to talk with Trina and hopefully get her to testify the truth and offer her protection. At a hearing, Lorna convinces Judge Turner to order Bishop to testify, as he is a key to showing Julian is innocent. Cisco is shocked to see that Trina has disappeared without a trace. In court, Mickey suggests the police ignored a connection between the DEA and Gloria, and Lorna uses this to convince the judge to get DeMarco to testify as well. Cisco finally finds Trina as she was at Roberts' house hiding out. The next day in court, Mickey introduces a video showing Gloria was followed the night she was murdered inside her hotel room, and how he believes whoever is in this video is the true murderer of Gloria Denton. He's setting up to show the court how this man is really Bishop. Bishop looks very uneasy when he sees this. Cisco informs Mickey that DeMarco's subpoena was finally accepted, but also that Trina won't testify until DeMarco is behind bars, so she knows she is safe. The reason she was hiding out of Roberts' house was because a DEA agent came and threatened her to keep her mouth shut. The next morning, while being transported from jail to the courthouse, Julian is stabbed by another inmate. Episode 9. Ghosts. Mickey rushes to the hospital to check on Julian, and he is relieved to see that Julian will survive, but he is in critical condition. Mickey thinks someone did this in hopes of getting the case ended. That is the last thing Mickey wants because he feels he is so close to getting the truth exposed. Lorna is working with the judge to give them extra time, so he won't miss his court appearance. Mickey thinks Bishop had something to do with this, but Bishop just says it was a hate crime because Julian is gay, but Mickey doesn't buy it, and he is adamant they continue the trial as normal and to stop delaying it. DeMarco then shows up to court as scheduled, and before the judge declares a mistrial, the judge wants to hear his statement first, even though there is no jury present. DeMarco lies and tells the court he has no idea who Bishop or Sturgos are, and Mickey is deciding whether he wants to use the hidden security footage or not. He eventually decides against it, wanting to hold it for the jury. Mickey then gets a call that Julian is awake, and Mickey asks for a 90-minute recess to go talk with him. Julian is in and out of consciousness, and Mickey needs his signature to continue the trial without him present, and David signs it for him since Julian is in and out. David then testifies to the court that Julian wants the trial to continue without him present. The trial will resume the following day. Andrea shows up at the law office and gives Cisco a bunch of paperwork that is related to a prisoner, Lalo Vasquez, who was behind the stabbing of Julian. At the courthouse, Mickey shows Bishop the incriminating video he has, and Bishop begs him not to show it to court, and it isn't what it looks like. Mickey offers him an ultimatum and in court, calls Bishop to the stand. Episode 10. The Gods of Guilt. Season Finale. The finale begins with a flashback showing DeMarco and Bishop meeting each other for the first time. Bishop is not doing well and is on the verge of losing his family, so DeMarco offers him a way out of his messy situation. In present day, Bishop takes the stand, and he does admit to requesting to be on this case specifically because DeMarco told him to. He reveals he found Gloria and gave her address to DeMarco on his orders, And while waiting for him, Julian showed up and left shortly afterwards, before DeMarco arrived, and entered through an unmonitored door the cameras couldn't see. An hour later, Gloria was dead. Bishop says he had no idea she was about to die because DeMarco just said he wanted to talk to her about the subpoena. Bishop couldn't tell anyone the truth because DeMarco had helped Bishop out 10 years ago framing someone for a double murder, so Bishop couldn't be honest, or else he'd go down too. Bishop also took dirty money from DeMarco to keep quiet, and he needed the funds badly for his family. He explains that DeMarco was working with a deadly cartel that was a rival of Moya's, and that is why he was dead set on Hector Moya being behind bars and Gloria dead before she could testify. After confessing everything, Bishop pulls out a gun and takes himself out. DeMarco tries fleeing away from Cisco, but later on Mickey receives a picture that shows DeMarco was caught by Moya's crew and killed. Mickey then goes to the hospital and reveals the news to Julian that he is a free man. When Mickey gets home, he is met by Haley, who apologizes for how she's been acting and wants them to be happy again. The story jumps 4 months later, and Mickey has won a civil suit against the DEA and law enforcement office, and he pays half of the money to Eddie's mother. Mickey is stopped by the police later that night, and he is alone. His license plate has been half ripped off, and there is blood dripping from his trunk. When the officer opens up his trunk, they find the body of Sam Scales dead. And that is the cliffhanger for Season 4. Hope you check out that video when I get it uploaded as well. Thanks for watching.